Welcome back. Today at Welcome Home Custom, we are going to learn how to assemble this backgammon board game. Okay, so let's go over everything we're going to need for the project along with the files that are included. So first and foremost, I made this little test card because we are going to need magnets, and it is so that you can set up your laser and test different powers and speeds to figure out which speed will work and power will work to completely sync your magnet. So this magnet is not quite flush enough. You're going to want it completely flush. That way the box can close. So this is included. You've got your lid and your base on one sheet of wood. You've got your top, which includes counters. That is in place of the double cube. Save us money. Along with the other side, the opposing side, which will hold the little peg. And then we have the decorative boards that will go in the middle. These are all scored. You can choose to score this instead. You don't have to cut it out, but many of you guys know, like the inlay look. So I've cut out all of my triangles and my checkers in two other different colors, walnut and cherry. So you'll have a file with 12 of these and 15 checkers. You're going to want to cut that twice. There's this little piece right here. This piece is actually going to go with the peg area. It's just going to raise your peg up just a little bit more. I find that 2 layers of the 1/4 inch was a little too deep and it was harder to get the peg out. Other things we're going to need, you're going to need to buy some dice and a peg. I can include these links in the description below, along with some magnets. All my magnets are stuck together. You're also going to want some clamps and some glue. I use Tight Bond with my silicone tray. And then you'll also want to use some tung oil or something like that to finish off your project. So first thing, what I'm going to do is I actually need to clean up all my wood before I get started. So I'm going to do that real quick. Never fails. Every time I go to do something, I realize I missed something when I'm given the instructions. We need a hammer. And then I'm using this to help push down the magnets even more. So what we're going to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 magnets is what I need. And I'm going to use some E6000 for my glue in the holes. And we're going to want this to dry thoroughly before we use the magnets. So what we're going to do is we're going to put just a touch in to the holes. And then we are going to take 2 of the magnets off. These are very strong. And we're going to set it down on top. And then we are going to hammer it in. Well, that didn't work. It just grabbed it. So we'll come back to that. So we're going to hammer it in so that it's flush. You can use a piece of maybe wood, scrap wood, which that is not. That's for that. Let's see. Actually, I'll use this. Let's protect it though. That way we can really make sure we're getting it down flush. And then we can just give it a nice, just light sand, just to clean it up. That feels pretty good. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to grab the next one. put it down. So we're going to put our magnet in again. Hammer it down. Oh, that one went in great. Okay. So continue to your next 2 holes, and then we're going to stop because I'll show you my trick. Now that they are hammered in, we are going to take 4 more magnets and we are going to place them one on top of each. That way, when you go to put your magnets on, there's a positive and a negative side. That way you know it's set up properly and you don't get opposing magnets. So now all you're going to need to do is put glue in each one of the holes. We're going to line it up with our piece on top so that our magnets are on there. And then you're just going to slide to the side. And so now your 4 magnets are in there and you just have to hammer them in. Need to clean that up. I got a little too much glue on that one. Good. Okay. So you can see that it looks completely closed. We got them countersunk pretty well. So just slide it back off. All right, so now let's let that dry and we can go ahead and glue up the other pieces of the board game. So what we can do now is glue our base and these 2 pieces together. So we'll lay these out. These are definitely a little, my wood came a little bit warped this time, so I'm going to have to really weigh this down and clamp it while it glues. So what we're going to do is we're going to, real quick, we are going to glue these down, add our pegs, and then clamp it down, okay? Okay, so I'm going to glue this up. Just dabbing glue all throughout the game board. .3M would probably be really good for this project, to be honest. I just don't have any. So if you use 3M, go for it. I think it would work well. Okay. Let's flip it over and place it down. We are going to focus on lining up our edges. And this board is really warped, so I'm gonna have to weigh it down with something. It's not a bad idea to line it up this way, flip it, line it up again. You can see how warped I got. So we are going to grab my glue bottle and weigh it down. I'm going to feel around my edges, see how everything feels. It feels pretty good. Really don't have any cleanup in there to do because I got my glue on pretty well. All right, so we will let this dry and go ahead and glue the other one. And then once this is dry, we can move on to the next step. Okay, so I went ahead and did the other side and I glued in my triangles. I did them opposite color, so cherry, walnut, and then also cherry, walnut. So keep in mind you want to alternate both ways. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue in my extra little piece that I have to go right here. This is where your peg would go. So I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to this real quick and place that down in place right there and let that dry. So what we could do now is go ahead and add our magnet layer. So you'll notice there's two different layers. There's one that's got the cutout for the peg, and then there's one that's got the numbers. So make sure you have that set up properly. So let's go ahead and add some glue to this guy, and we will get this glued up as well. I'm going to glue all the way around. Again, this could be a very good option for 3M. I really need to probably get some at this point, but I haven't. Working our way around. Okay, so we will get this lined up on top. Really starting to come together now. All right, so that can dry, and we can go ahead and start on the next side. This is the one that we were just holding down to glue. It feels like it's dried up. So what you want to do, you want to double check and make sure you alternate again. So I'm just going to set this right here as an example. So here is cherry, so this is going to need to be walnut, okay? So let's go ahead and get these glued in. So now those pieces are going to be drying, we can go ahead and place this on top, like so. So what we will do is we will add glue like we did for the other side and then clamp it down. Okay guys, so that's it. Now that you have everything glued up, you can take your dice and place them into the spots. Your peg should go in all of your holes if you use the doubling cube. All of your checkers or markers or counters. I'm not sure what they call them in backgammon. So I hope you guys enjoy putting it together, and I hope it brings you hours of fun family time. If you guys have any questions, please just comment below, and I will include different links in the description. Thanks so much, guys.